What's up? It's your returning champion, anti-feminist fuckboy here. Today's video features Milo where he explains how feminism, social justice movement and the leftist politics are coming to an end, largely thanks to men such as Donald Trump, who is against this shit. Scratch your balls, grab a beer, popcorn, and enjoy.
The American media is so bankrupt and useless. I mean, the media has basically gone from telling the truth, exposing wrongdoing, being the arbiters of, whatever, the fourth estate, to now, it seems to me, primarily virtue signaling to each other about what good people they are. Looking at everything through the prism of racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia. It's all they ever want to know. It's the only way they have to analyze stories. It's the only thing they ever really talk about. And people are sick of it. Donald Trump represents an existential threat to political correctness and an existential threat to that way of looking at the world. The way of looking at the world that doesn't really want to tell great stories or expose wrongdoing so much as it just wants to point fingers and name call and call people terrible things. I think Trump, the American people are ready for somebody who is going to blow that system up. And you may not like everything about Trump. You may not be a huge fan of his character. You may not like some of the statements he's made, whatever. But Donald Trump, the respect in which he promises to completely explode so many broken systems, whether it's Washington, whether it is the media, it's very exciting. And I think this election really is about whether enough of the American people can kind of hold their nose, ignore the things they can't stand about him, and just go for it and take the risk. Or do they want, on the other hand, to just do business as usual with Hillary Clinton?
It seems to me that Hillary Clinton is sort of stitching up a coalition of interests, some of them not quite mutual interests, but she's appealing to various groups. So there's the women vote, there's the Latino vote, there's the African American vote, there's the gay vote. It's interesting, isn't it, that this really seems to me the height of identity politics, this particular battle.
I think it is. I think you're right. And what's so obvious now to a lot of people who are paying attention is this left-wing idea of splitting us all up into, blacks and whites, gays and straights, all the rest. It pits people against each other. It's divisive. It's a miserable way to organize a society. And the left wants to pander to all groups that aren't straight white men in a desperate sort of attempt to convince them all that, the left will stick up for them. Well, the problem with that is that some of these groups really don't get on that much. There's huge competition between, like, the illegal Hispanic immigration in America and blacks whose votes are depressed by illegal aliens. There's huge, to call it tension or to call it like a, whatever, between Muslims and gays. It's only a surprise to left-wing politicians and the media that Muslims and gays don't get on that well, and that one group wants the other group exterminated. It's not a surprise to anyone except the people at CNBC, the people at CNN and the New York Times, and people at the Democratic Party. The problem with playing these minority games, with this sort of victimhood Olympics, this hierarchy of oppression, is that everybody on the table, has some problem with someone else on the table, and all of this stuff is falling apart. I'm demonstrating on college campuses in America that gay people don't have to believe all the same. The unprecedented numbers of black voters that are coming out for Trump against everything the media told us was going to happen, they're demonstrating that black people don't just have to vote one way. Women who are, all these signs, these wonderful signs you see at the rallies, like women for Trump, Latinos for Trump, they're even trannies for Trump, believe it or not. All these people coming out of the rallies are doing this. No, it's true. All these people are doing this stuff at the rallies with one reason, and it is to demonstrate that identity politics is stupid. Your skin color, your sexuality, your gender should not determine, and doesn't need to determine, the set of political opinions that you hold. Just because I have particular sexual proclivities, first of all, it doesn't need to be rammed down your throat, so to speak. And second of all, it does not, it doesn't mean that I'm going to have a particular political position. The left has been feeding us this garbage forever, to the point where people are surprised when they hear that a gay person is conservative. That's ridiculous. And one of the effects of Donald Trump is to explode this identity politics stuff that is being force-fed, that is being spread everywhere in the West, Australia, Europe, America, and people are sick of it because they realize what nonsense it is, and they realize, more importantly, that it just pits people against each other. This populist nationalist, and there's nothing wrong with either of those words, by the way, this populist nationalist revulsion of what the left has done to Western countries, I think, is only going to continue to grow irrespective of the results of this election. This is a sort of generational shift. It's not something that just will ebb and flow with this election. All over the West, people are rejecting this social justice, left-wing globalist agenda. It happened in Brexit. It's happening in elections in Germany, in France. They're all, the signs are everywhere that there is a generational shift away from these guys and towards people who are happy to be proud of their countries, skeptical about open borders, or if not outright hostile to them, worried about the Middle East. totally contemptuous of political correctness. These beliefs are not going anywhere. And in fact, if my college talks and the response to me and the response to Donald Trump is anything to go by, they're only going to get stronger and louder, and these people are going to have more and more of a voice as time goes by.